Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Book. Today, no whiskey and no book in front of me, so bummer. But hey, what we're going to do today is kind of cool. We're going to build a med kit for house, vehicle, whatever. So stay tuned and see what we put in the bag. Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Book. Again, no whiskey, no book, but I am going to give a title of a book. Red Rising. It's not just a book, it's a series by Pierce Brown. Is sort of a sci-fi, well, it is sci-fi. And I haven't ever really been into sci-fi that much, but holy smokes, that series, I couldn't recommend it enough. I haven't read a series. I'm on book 3 of the series right now that has made me think so much after, and I say read, air quotes, audible. I listen to the book driving, working. Heck, sometimes I just sit and play Call of Duty and listen to the book. So, and yes, I play. I cannot recommend that series enough. I'm terrible at giving spoilers. I don't want to give spoilers, but there's your book recommendation. What are we doing today? Today, we are going to be building a med kit. And when I say med kit, I'm not talking about a first aid kit. Okay, let me give some experience I have with medical. In the military, I was not a SEER instructor, but I went through SEER school, Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape. We did some medical there. My career field dealt with some medical in the military. I had some basic military experience there, medical experience there. I was also a police officer, went through 40 hours of pretty intense medical training at the academy, plus follow-on training. And where I'm at now, I've gone through a couple classes. We have what's called where I'm at now is our Downed Officer Kit training, DOK, and it's some of the best training I've ever been through in my life. And it centers a lot around tourniquets and trauma application for bullet wounds and things that officers will encounter, but the same things apply to cutting yourself with a knife, with a tool in the shop, stabbing yourself, falling, breaking limbs, things like that. It covers quite a bit. Am I a medic? Nope. Have I ever been on an ambulance crew? Nope. Fire crew? Nope. So what we're going to be doing is building this kit with the knowledge that I know with what I need, but I am not going to be explaining how to use it. There's other channels out there like Skinny Medic and a couple others who they're actual medics. Pay attention to them and go watch their channels to see good training on how to do some of this stuff. So what do I want to go into? Well, first, again, I want to differentiate, and I have a first aid, which I have this cool little cardboard box of first aid. First aid is your ouchies, your boo-boos, your little cuts, scrapes, burns, minor things that you need, Band-Aids, ointment, aspirin, maybe wrap it up a little bit, but not generally life-threatening stuff. Yes, I know somebody's going to be anything. If you get an infection, can become very threatening to you. But for this video, for general medical, it's considered first aid is one thing, trauma or medical kit, IFAK, individual first aid kit. Yes, first aid is in that title, but that's considered a trauma kit. So basic first aid is not where we're at today, but it's always cool to have one of these. We've got a couple around the house. Get them on Amazon, those little plastic kits. Get them at Walmart. Usually get them pretty good deal with a bunch of Band-Aids and stuff. I have been finding, however, this kit had a lot of good stuff in it but for the most part, those big plastic ones don't come with a lot, and I'd rather build my own. Kind of like what we're going to do with this trauma med kit. So what are we going to start with? What do we need in our med kit? Well, let's get the kit first. So let's build this together. I got this, speaking of Amazon, I'm pretty sure that's where I got this. Just a cool little bag. This is what we're going to start with today. Has the, holy cow, there's a name for that. Again, I'm not a medic. I don't know, but this is a med kit. People look at this blue, red, orange. I think there's even some hyper green or yellow ones out there that the colors, you'd have to ask a doctor or medic if there's anything with the colors. But all I know is I know that this is going to be a med kit, and I can differentiate that from all my other stuff. Is it big enough? I don't know. That's what you get for ordering things. I'm kind of showing you here. It's sort of, I thought it was going to be a little taller. Shot caller, baller, you know. Get this figured out. We're doing this together. It has a nice kind of foamish padding inside to keep it upright. We may or may not keep that. It's got a little divider thing. That's going away. I don't like those divider things. I don't know. It's not a cooler. I don't need my ice separated from my other stuff. And I need all the room I can get in here. Because what we're going to put in here, what do we need for our trauma med kit? Let's see. First thing we want to do, let's go through. Let's say you're out using an axe and you missed the log, you hit your leg, and we got to stop the bleeding or slow the bleeding, control the bleeding. We have to wrap it up and hold that wrapping on there. And if it's bad enough, we really got to stop the blood flow. So first things first, if it's a major wound where you're bleeding out and like blood is coming out on a limb or extremity, need a tourniquet. This is meant to be able to put on your leg if both your hands are available. Plus, you can put it on yourself and tighten that sucker down. I am not going to do that again because I'm not going to show anybody how to do medical. That's just not something I'm comfortable doing, but I want to show you the equipment that you need, and if you get the right training, this is what you're going to need to have. So a tourniquet is an absolute must, and I'm going to save that to put in last because I want that on the top. I have some pouches on the side that it could go in, but I don't want to forget it's there. When you need a tourniquet, you need a tourniquet. But outside of the tourniquet, I think the next best thing you need is Israeli bandage, emergency bandage. I'd love to pull this out of the packaging for you. I'm not going to because these things cost a lot of money nowadays, and I need this for the bag. I wish I could. You pull it out. There's different types of bandage. They usually have a lighter colored white area where you know that goes over the wound. The other part wraps around it, and especially the Israeli bandage have little clips on there that you wind the wrapping around, you twist it, turn it back around, and it will stay on. Also directions on the back if you want that. This bandage has a little bit of gauze on it, but if it's a hole in you bleeding out, you need to stuff that hole. Compressed gauze is the way to go. This is your packing gauze. This is the stuff that you can use to wrap wounds, but you can also use to stuff holes. It sounds morbid, but it is what it is. You're bleeding and you need to get some stuff in there to take up that space. You have your skin, muscle, wound goes in, you need to put stuff in that wound. Otherwise you're just covering and the stuff's going to come out and you're going to soak through your gauze and you're going to be in a bad way. So these little compressed guys I have are good for you pull those open and they come out in almost rags or string, not rags. It almost looks like a paper towel that's different angles or more like a handkerchief, and you can stuff the wound with that. And then you cover it with elastic gauze, which is what you wrap around it So it's good to have a couple of these rolls. I have this whole bag that came with like 6 of them. Reason I'm doing this, again, I've been through enough experience to know pretty sure what I'm going to need, and this is the stuff that I'm experienced with using, and I know how to use it if somebody's in front of me and has an issue. There's a lot of but pre-made med kits out there. Let's see, Trail Recon. He's a Overland channel. I think I mentioned him in another video. He just started doing a med kit. Skinny Medic, Blue Force Gear, North American Rescue is the one. I actually have one on my belt that has other stuff on it, my bat belt. And North American Rescue is one of my favorites. And you get them, and they're great. There is nothing wrong with them. They come exactly what you need. They come in the packaging. The pouches, or this isn't North American Rescue. This is just an old medical pouch. But they come in these pouches, and they're all set to go. And if that's the way you want to go, be my guest. Awesome. I just find that the cost on them is about double what you can do to put this together yourself. And that's double for like individual supply. Like these whole things right here, I can make 3 different kits because I like to put 2 per kit. And I come out money ahead with that. Also, so you put the gauze around there. You need to hold the gauze on. Medical tape. Same thing. Buy it. You can go on Amazon. You can go on a lot of online places. If you want to get the really good stuff, a lot of those medical supply places, the tactical supply places, you can buy this stuff individually too. And yes, I will put links below to a lot of those. I'm not trying to take any business away. I really love their stuff. But this day and age, I know a lot of us are, money's tight, man. Everything costs so much more than it used to. So if you're able to save a little bit but still be safe, that's what we want to do, right? So I'm going to put 2 rolls of tape in here as well. Might be overkill. Usually you can get away with 1 roll, but you know, this med kit's going to go in a vehicle or something. I tend to steal that tape for other things. Just the way it is, sorry. Another thing, so I got a box of alcohol prep pads. Whole bunch of the little suckers in here. I'm not going to put them all in there, but you know, get a small handful of those. Those will fit really good in the side pocket over here. Great to have. If it's a smaller wound, clean the wound. Still try to clean it if you can. The number one thing is to get that tourniquet on if you're really bleeding. Try not to give medical advice, but there's a little bit of advice there. Take it for what you will. That's the number one thing, is to stop that blood flow. If it's really bad, save a life. Okay, so I got my gauze, I got my combat, or my we like to call it emergency bandages. Now, they used to be called combat bandages, Israeli bandages, different brands. I have another one. Yeah, I'm still not going to open it up. Smaller one. I wish I could kind of show you on my camera's a long way away. There's directions on the back. That's going to go in another kit. Along with, I got a couple more of the little gauze packages and everything. I got those actually, keep telling me, but I got those at a gun show. I went to a trade show. There's a table that I always get to see there, and I was glad to support folks who go and try to do their small businesses. Okay, so and my tourniquet here is going to go, this bag, it's going to go on the top because this bag doesn't have MOLLE. And normally, you know, you look at MOLLE on bags, you're like, yeah, whatever. It's a tactical thing. This is where MOLLE really comes in handy. If I had it on the outside, I could put a tourniquet strap on the outside. And later I'll go and I'll set up that tourniquet, call what you call charging the tourniquet or preloading the tourniquet, where you set it up where it pulls out exactly like you need it. I'm not going to do that on camera because it's actually, I'm not a pro at that. So that's that. I'm also going to put in here some adhesive pads. Now, this is a crossover from the first aid kit to the trauma kit. There's no line in the sand that says this has to go in one, this has to go in the other. It's just a general rule that the first aid kit is like the boo-boo, the minor injuries and everything. These adhesive kits are big enough that that'll cover, I had a garage sale years ago, hit my shin on a piece of metal in the garage, and it bled like a stuck pig and all over the place. And one of these with a little gauze over the top and some tape stopped it enough that I could get it stopped, go in, get my tetanus shot, all that fun stuff. But those are good to have even for minor trauma. So don't think you have to limit yourself. For your bag, I would just say my advice for ever using these, make sure the stuff that you need in a hurry is on top and readily available. You don't want to be searching for that stuff. So I'm going to open this up. Boom, tourniquets right there. Emergency bandages right there. And then everything else can be taped and rolled after that. That's, I guess, would be my tip when building these kits. Other than the emergency bandage and the tourniquet, the other stuff is what it is. It's tape, it's gauze, it does its job. Tourniquet, don't skip out on that. Don't get the cheap ones. Get the actual cat or Soft-T. Okay, so that was just my little soapbox there. You can save money in certain areas of med kits. You really can. All this stuff that I showed you here, other than the emergency bandage and the tourniquets, are not a dime a dozen, but you can get them bulk and save some money, build multiple kits instead of spending all your money on one. And then last thing I got here, it's called a Raptor shear. There we go. And I love these things. I know Leatherman makes a really good set. They're about $80, I think now, maybe 60, $80. But to have a set of shears to cut your bandages, to cut clothing, to get to wounds, you can get the kits with the one-time use ones, and that's great, and that's okay. Just know that these are going to hold up a little better. These fold up. That doesn't really matter to me, other than, it's easier to put in the bag or whatever. But these are definitely more solid. The one-time use ones I don't know if the steel's just super soft, what it is, but you use them one time basically if you have one emergency, and that's it. Why I like these is because I have to pull these out at a campsite or whatever and cut something else. Like I said, I steal the tape for other things. I'm not worried. These are still going to work for medical. Is that ideal? No. Should I probably use something else? Probably, yeah. But you know how we all get, right? Not everything is used as it's supposed to be. So, hey, tell me what I'm missing on this kit. I know there's some other things I can throw in here, and I probably will. Probably get some a flashlight in here. And a splint would be nice. Even one of those, I don't know if they're not really, they're kind of plastic splints. Not sure what they're made out of, but they fold up. You can get them in a pretty tight spot. I need one of those. I know that. And then they have these little books, these little trauma or med survival, tells you how to apply things. Probably good to have one of those too, in case I'm not the one putting it on. Maybe somebody needs to put the stuff on to me, and I'm not in a position where I can tell them, and not everybody's had the same training I have. So that is something I'm going to look at. I know that the aspirins and ibuprofens and those kind of things go in the first aid kit. Same with like allergy pills, Benadryl, that kind of stuff. But if I have the room, it doesn't hurt to have it in here either. It just doesn't. And maybe this other side pocket, I'll just throw some Band-Aids, some meds, some of the basic first aid stuff in there, and then this kit's ready to go. Again, the kit itself, I can't remember, cost that bag, like, I don't know, on sale, $9, $12, something like that. All this put together, probably $50 minus the tourniquet. Tourniquet itself was, I believe, $36, $39. I got it on sale, but it's a real one. Soft-T cat. Those are the two to get. Don't get the 12. I'm just telling you right now. I've seen them fail in training. Don't get the cheap $12, 3 for $20, whatever they are. Don't skip out on those. It's kind of like tires on your vehicle. That's not the spot you skimp out on. I hope this helped. It's kind of all over the place. Again, I'm trying not to give medical advice, just kind of wanted to build my bag and show you what I was doing. I'm open to tips from all of you, and I appreciate you watching. And till the next adventure, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Okay. Couldn't let you go without showing you something. Bag's not quite complete, so what I did, changed on the one side, the little pouch I have on the one side, I put my Raptor, MedX by Raptor tool. The other side, that's where I put my gauze pads. I broke open that first aid kit. I got some Band-Aids, some adhesive out of there. Also the emergency blanket that was in the first aid kit. Great thing to put in the trauma kit. I'm more likely to need that in the trauma kit than I am the first aid kit. Gloves. I can't believe I forgot to mention gloves before. You want some rubber gloves, vinyl gloves. The purple ones, I believe, are the best ones in our field. They're cut and a little bit more poke resistant, like needle resistant, which is a good thing. But I had to show you something before I go. This is why I think it's important that you either buy your medical gear, go big or go home with the like North American Rescue, gray bearded Green Beret, the ones that Skinny Medic, the ones I've kind of already talked about. Because otherwise, this is what you end up with. So that first aid kit. First aid kit, bulk first aid kit. This is the tape that came in that first aid kit. This tape is like a little bit bigger than the size of a ring compared to, I mean, come on now. One more thing. I got to show you this. Okay. Raptor shears. That's scary. That's what came in the first aid kit. I suppose I can cut the tape with that. Yeah. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I will see you next time on Whiskey Book.